Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the second edition of the Gas Live NFL Mock Draft. It's 2021. It's an explosive draft. So many unforeseen picks will be made tonight. I hope y'all are ready to get it popping. As always, I am your host tonight, Bryce XXVII. Let's introduce the team that we've got. We got some new faces. If you're used to watching the show every Tuesday, see some faces that you're not used to. But all these faces are Gas family, Gas contributors. So let's introduce. We'll go to the right, man. Scruff, introduce yourself.
What up? What up? What up? Y'all know what time it is. It's Scruff Lion, Good Ass Sports. We back on that mock draft shit. You feel me? Remember how we kicked it off last year? We back, but we back in full effect, and we got some new members of the gang to introduce. So it's all love, man.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Top right, then in that top right corner. Introduce yourself, sir.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Kev, Chill Kev on the Twitter, man. Just glad to be here with y'all fellas, man. Making my debut on the set. So let's get into it.
Yes, sir. If y'all don't know who Kev is, man, Kev is the one that engineered Gas's first official stat, the QBP. That's the quarterback production rating. Dope stat. If you haven't checked it out, go see who finished with the #1 ranking last season. It might surprise you. Bottom left, introduce yourself, sir.
What's good? My name is Rob from Philly. Follow me on social media at YoungAbout20. Good to be on this, John.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My guy from Philly, but somehow he's a Cowboys fan. I don't know how that happens, but you know how it be.
There's always one.
We don't run this shit again this year. Go ahead.
We'll see. And y'all know the familiar face on the bottom, right? Introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, man. It's me, T Boogie. Y'all know what it is. It's a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday. It's a little different for me, but I'm here. I ain't going for none of the nonsense tonight, man. So y'all better come with some correct picks. You know what I'm saying? And let's get this show on the road. I got my big cup with me, so you know what that means, man. It's going to be a fun night. Let's go, fellas.
Oh, that mean Boogie in his bag when he got the big blue cup, man. I already know what time it is. And we will be joined by Gerardo and Jerome a little later. They will be hopping on for the mock draft. They got some teams to announce as well. So, hey, man, before we get this draft kicked off, fellas, any thoughts about this year's draft, man? What y'all think about these quarterbacks? I feel like it might be an early run on quarterbacks. You never know. Seems like every team in the QB right now. What y'all thinking about some of these positions, man? Wide receivers is another one. It's deep with wide outs. How y'all feeling about the draft, man? Any thoughts before we get it popping?
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterback gonna be the premium pick. You know, on top of the top 5 of the draft, top 10 of the draft. You know, I think 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10. You know, I just how it always shakes out. We always got teams lining up for pole position early, 1, 2, and 3. You already know that the first 3 are gonna be quarterbacks. So I think it's pretty much a given. At least 2 more of them picks are going to be in the top 10 quarterbacks.
Will the first 3 be quarterbacks? Stay tuned. Hey, any other thoughts though, man? What y'all think about these QBs, man? Is it going to be an early run, Kev? What you think, bro?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely top talent QBs in this draft this year. I think we'll see a lot of offensive players going off the board early. I think more offensive than defensive players going off the board. So. Definitely a lot of talent in this draft. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, nah, facts, man. A lot of talent on the board, a lot of talent. One of the most talented positions in not just this year's draft, but also last year's was wide receivers. Rob, man, what you thinking about the wide outs in this year's class, man? Do you think it's better than last year's crop?
I mean, it's close. You know, Jamar Chase played this year, but we know what he's about. Obviously, Devonta Smith, I don't know why they're saying he might not be able to make in the league because he's skinny, as if Deshaun Jackson didn't kill penny corners when he was healthy back in the day. So I don't see no problem with his weight. Obviously, going to put on probably a couple 20 pounds, but he don't need to bulk up like a DK Metcalf or nothing.
Yeah, nah, facts. Yeah, they sleep on my boy, man. They definitely been sleep on my boy Devonta. I just saw his interview on Club Shay Shay. That Jones fire, man. If you haven't checked that out, I suggest everybody watch that, man. Gave me a little insight on not just kind of what kind of person he is, man. He's an impressive young dude, man. Hey, father first, shout out to my guy Hansel, man. Hey, Boogie, so what you thinking about this draft, bro? Nobody really talking about the defensive players, man. Any defensive standouts that you see coming from this 2021 class?
Off the top of my head, I like the corners. I like the secondary a lot in this draft. I like Surtain. I like J.C. Horn. I think this draft class is better than last year's draft class in the secondary. But we're gonna see. They gotta get on the field. I think it's easier to play receiver than ever now. You know what I'm saying? You saw last year's draft class had a lot of success. I think this one's gonna have more. It's just a spacing game now. I think it's harder to cover. So you need corners. I think we might see a run on corners.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, definitely corners to go around. I think that's one of the deeper positions when it comes to defense in this draft. So let's get it popping, man. I think it's about that time, fellas. I think it's about that time. Let's get it. Let's get it. And y'all know who's first. The Jaguars. The Jaguars are on the clock. I will be introducing the Jaguars pick, man. The Jaguars are one of my teams that I chose their selections. I don't think it's a secret though. So I guess we can go ahead and get this one going, man. It's definitely not a secret with who the Jaguars are taking. So the pick is most definitely in. And with the first pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select who else? Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson. And I think this was a pretty easy pick right here, man. I think everybody knew this one was coming. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. Now the question is, how good does Trevor Lawrence end up being, man? Is there bust potential? I don't know. If I had to compare him to one player, one prospect that's come out in the last 5-10 years, I point to no other than Andrew Luck. I mean, just from a mechanical standpoint, from an athletic standpoint, I mean, he can run, he can pass, he can get out the pocket, great pocket presence. And not only that, he's a clutch ball player. I think that's one of the biggest things about Andrew Luck that we knew coming out. He could play in the big moments. And I think the same goes for Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence did scare a couple people off with some of his comments, towards the towards the beginning of this draft process, or towards the end of this draft process. He was saying things like, along the lines that he doesn't need football to make him happy type of stuff. That's a red flag to some, but T, I'm allowing it to you, man. What you think about Trevor Lawrence prospect? You think there's any bust potential there?
I think there's always bust potential when you go number one overall. I mean, you got the crown, so anything short of multiple Pro Bowls, as a number one quarterback, like people might start saying bust. I mean, you draft that guy in that position to win Super Bowls. That's about it. But he's been a winner. I mean, he's been the number one pick since he's been in high school. We knew when it was time for the draft, he was going number one off the board. Him and Fields been battling since about high school. Fields hasn't been able to overtake him. I mean, that says something to me. And I think making it work with Urban Meyer, you got a new NFL coach here. I think that's going to be the biggest situation for him. I think as a quarterback, he'll be fine, but trying to figure out how to work with an NFL with a new head coach. They're both new to the scene. So I think that's where you get the question marks.
Nah, great point, bro. Great point. I mean, we're going to see. It's a fresh start for them both. Urban Meyer's been around the game, and the one thing about Urban Meyer is he scouted a lot of these players that are coming up in these next, maybe 4 or 5 drafts. He should know a lot of these guys like the back of their hands. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars really have some great drafts over these next couple of seasons. Rob, let's kick it to you, man. What you think about Trevor Lawrence? You think he has any potential to bust? You think he's going to come in and be a superstar right away? What's your thoughts on him?
I don't think he's going to be a superstar right away. It's probably going to take a couple years, but I definitely don't think he's going to be a bust. He'll probably be a solid quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar, especially the way I saw him playing that game against Ohio State. Sometimes he shies away from the big moments, but I don't think he's going to be a bust.
Yeah, I feel that. Ohio State was not his best game, bro. He wasn't on his tip-top performance level. But I think that body of work, man. I think it's that body of work that he's kind of proven that he is that guy. So I mean, we'll see. Any other thoughts on Trevor Lawrence, Kev, Scruff? Y'all got anything on him?
Yeah, I agree with T. I think all in all, he's a proven prospect. I think he's going to come to the league and pretty much right away the Jaguars will be in a better position. They may just right away win 7-8 games next season. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Facts. All right, man. Well, y'all know who's up next, man. The Jets are on the clock. There's a lot of ways the Jets could go with this pick. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation on who they're going to take. We shall see if they take who everyone has expected up to this point. I mean, hey, I don't know. What you guys think? If you were the Jets, who would you go with?
I mean, it's a desperate franchise. That's all I'll say.
I feel that. What you about to say, T?
No, I was gonna say. I mean, obviously we know the Jets want Wilson. I'm not sure why. I don't know why Wilson's the guy. I'm not sure what they've seen. To me, he didn't do enough against good competition, but Wilson seems to be the guy. So if they trust it, new coaching staff, if they trust it, then they're hitching their wagon to the guy.
Hold on, T. I think I see some guys getting some calls from the war room, man, and you know what that means. The pick is in. Now let's see who the Jets decide to take this year.
With number 2 selection, the New York Jets, aka the sorriest team of professional football, select Zach Wilson, quarterback.
Wow. Hey, my man was going hard on the Jets, the sorriest team in professional football. And they do take Zach Wilson as we expected, man, the BYU product, man. What's your first thoughts on that, fellas?
I think the biggest thing is the Jets had to get the pick right. So I'm going to just speak on behalf of the Jets war room. The Jets had to get the pick right. This wasn't a situation where the Jets had any possibility of getting the pick wrong. And that's their guy. You know what I'm saying? He got all the potential. He's unique enough that he can make it work in New York. He's talented. And the Jets have another pick. And my intel is telling me, even though I did get some calls on that number 2 pick, don't sleep. But my intel is telling me that they may be going offense again later in the first round. But we shall see.
We'll see. I mean, things can change. What if the player that they want is no longer there? Then there's some shuffling that goes on with those boards. I don't know, man. A lot of hype for Zach Wilson coming in the draft, man. But to me, he has the biggest buzz potential out of all the quarterbacks in the top, the big 5, or I guess we'll call it the big 5 quarterbacks. I don't know, man. I don't want to call him a bust because I mean the last year's tape was legit, but the year before that's tape, very subpar as a sophomore season, man. Any other thoughts on Zach Wilson?
I mean, it's hard being a number 2 pick, man. Some guys, I feel like they're chasing that number 1 guy sometimes. So if Lawrence has a little bit of success and you don't, it can start to mess with you. Or if the guys behind you have a little bit of success, and then it's the Jets. That's a good point, man. The Lions are clearly the worst team, but then it's the Jets.
Yeah, but they're in Detroit, man. New York there's levels, man. You can't be that bad in a major market. Like they really want you to succeed, in New York. Like if you suck in New York, it's because you suck. It ain't else to it, bro.
I mean, that's a good question. What if they go Fields? I don't think that bothers the 49ers much. But if they go Fields, then more power to them. It's all, like I said, it's always been Lawrence and Fields. So for them to go 1-2 would be fitting.
Yeah, good point. Good point. It really has always been Lawrence and Fields, bro. It just seemed like not until Zach Wilson just started getting crazy hype that he wasn't even mentioning with those names for a while. Just goes to show you how one season can change things. I think back to Joe Burrow last year, man. Nobody was expecting Joe Burrow to be the top pick coming into last season, but he made that noise.
I don't know how New York Jets fans and I don't know how they was going to react to a Justin Fields type of pick. They had the Geno Smith era. I think they wanted the All-American pick, if you know what I mean.
Nah, facts. All right, well, y'all know who's on the clock next, man. The 49ers, they made the big deal to go up to number 3. Everyone's speculations they want a quarterback. Been a lot of talk about Mac Jones. Been a lot of talk about Justin Fields, even a lot of talk about Trey Lance. I mean, hey, if I was them, I'd be moving up for a guy like my boy, the tight end from Florida, Kyle Pitts. But I guess he's not getting enough buzz. He's not getting that top 3 buzz, man. Seems like we're in this new era where quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, no matter what's happening. I think that's where we're getting to. Wait, is that a phone out here ringing? Do y'all hear that? I think the pick is in. The pick is in. And it'll be brought to you by no other than my guy, T Boogie.
this is where the draft really starts, man. So at the number 3 pick, San Francisco 49ers select Trey Lance, number 3. Quarterback, North Dakota State.
A shocker. The first shocker of the draft. Let's get it. I don't think anybody was ready for that. Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
About that, man?
Trey Lance. While the world's screaming Mac Jones or even Justin Fields, Trey Lance has the biggest upside. I don't think you mortgage your future to take a guy like Mac Jones. And then you look at Justin Fields. One of the biggest things I noticed, right? Fields is looking at the sideline, getting his calls from his coaches. The whole, everyone's looking, getting the plays. Kind of like you see with a lot of college offenses. You don't see that with Trey Lance. He's up there sliding protections. I mean, he's running a pro style, same style as Carson Wentz. I think coming off of RG3 and having Jimmy can't really move the chains, outside of passing. I think Kyle Shanahan is anxious to open it up. No one wants Jimmy. So Jimmy's starting next year. You get a chance to sit the guy and groom him. I mean, you can't lose. I don't think anyone loses in this position, whoever the pick is. But I think Lance is the one that, gets you that Super Bowl.
Good point. I think Lance, out of all the quarterbacks in this year's draft, I think he has the most amount of potential. Not just because of the physical standpoint. I mean, obviously, he's got the huge arm, 6'4". He can run the football just as good as anybody in this draft. But I also think when you come in from a school like North Dakota State, there's got to be a ton of room to grow. And at North Dakota State, I mean, he was damn near perfect in his freshman season. Sophomore season, he only played one game, didn't look spectacular. But, I mean, you can't really hold somebody to one game. I love that pick for the 49ers. I think they're in a position where they could let a player sit for a year, especially if they end up keeping Jimmy G. Some rumblings of that he might get traded to the Patriots. But they end up keeping Jimmy G. That's a perfect situation. Scrub, I see you shaking your head, man. What you thinking?
I mean, I don't know. It was necessary to trade up all the way to 3 to get Trey Lance. But, I get it. I mean, you want to secure the quarterback. I just feel as though they were pretty much open to anybody. They were ready to hoard out at the number 3 pick. They said they'll take 5 guys at number 3. So that doesn't make me feel too confident about how much of an edge there is with the quarterback prospects. I like the idea with Trey Lance. I think he has a higher upside, and I think, that dual threat is a nice play, but, you drafting the next potential Colin Kaepernick type style player. And, you could have been drafting the next motherfucking Joe Montana. You know what I'm saying? But, that's just me. But, I really like Mac Jones. And I heard that that's what they liked. And if you like what you like, you should just like what you like. And you shouldn't let people influence your decision. So if they decide to change their decision and to go Trey Lance, then I'm never with the flip-flopping. So I think it's a bad pick if you flip-flopping. Because if you like Mac Jones, then you better stand behind that. And if the coaching staff felt that way and now they're flip-flopping, then that just doesn't make me trust their intelligence and their brass back there.
Yeah, you make a good point, bro. I mean, there's been a lot of rumblings about Mac Jones, but honestly, Mac Jones at number 3 kind of came out of left field. I don't think anybody really had Mac Jones penciled into that top 5 before. Well, I made a mention not too long ago that I really did like the kid, but I don't think too many draft pundits had him penciled into that top 5 until Kyle Shanahan kind of floated that rumor out there. However, that rumor surfaced. And T, what would you feel like if Mac Jones was the pick? Would you have any buyer's remorse?
I mean, like I said, I think whoever lands in San Francisco has a great opportunity. Defense, running game, tight end. You got a brilliant head coach. So I wouldn't be too mad, but I feel like Mac Jones, if you trade everything for Mac Jones and it doesn't work, I think that pick gets you fired. I really think it does. I think if you grab a guy like Fields or Lance where people know, all right, well, there's some flaws there, we might got to work on some things, and it doesn't work, the coach doesn't take the blame. But if you trade up and tell me this guy's NFL ready, he can start today, which they're claiming about Mac Jones, and it doesn't work out, it looks terrible. I personally don't even have Mac Jones as a first round prospect. So I wouldn't want to see that. But again, it's really Kyle's call. I don't think Lynch would draft Mac Jones. I think it comes down to Shanahan.
Yeah, I think you can get fired also regardless if they take Mac Jones or Trey Lance. Or I think if they didn't get this quarterback pick right, somebody's getting fired. who Mac Jones. We gonna quote Mike Jones, and I'm gonna say Mac Jones gonna be looking back at this draft, and he gonna say back then they didn't want me, and that's saying they're gonna be looking like Tom Brady in a minute. But all right, we'll see. We'll see where Mac Jones fall. I'm telling you, that boy, if he ends in the right situation, he'll be in the Super Bowl well before the 49ers.
Talking a little spicy. I like to hear it. All right, so next team is the Falcons, and I think I hear some phones ringing. I think it's Rome, because Rome was picking on behalf of the Falcons. I think he's calling me right now to announce his pick. Let me pick this up, fellas. Hold on. What up, Rome? I got you, bro. I like that pick. I didn't expect it, but I like that. All right, let's get it. Hey, man, Rome just let me know the pick, so let's get it, man. Let's get it. Y'all know what time it is. The pick is in. With the fourth pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. Hey, man, I love this pick, man. I think this is the top athletic specimen of this draft. Real potential to possibly come out of this draft as the best player of the draft. We'll see how that ends up. You know, you can never bank too much on potential. Kev, what do you think about the Kyle Pitts selection, man?
I think it's a great pick for the Falcons. I mean, he's great talent. Is he a receiver? Is he a tight end? He can play either position. When it comes to blocking, I mean, we'll see how well he can translate to the next level from that aspect. But I think it's a huge help to the offense. It's a huge help to Matt Ryan and just that entire team. So we'll see how he develops in the league. But yeah, I love the pick.
Yeah, G, you shaking your head, man. What you think about Kyle Pitts, bro?
I hate the pick. Like Matt Ryan, are the Falcons still believing in Matt Ryan after all these years?
Yes.
See, I don't really understand. Actually, I'm glad that we're talking about this. So I really don't understand why they're trying to replace Matt Ryan. Nah, the opposite of what you're trying to say, bro. I don't understand why you're trying to replace Matt Ryan. But he just put up better numbers than three quarters of the whole NFL, bro. Why are you trying to replace the dude? You know, that's not the problem. They got hella other problems before they got to deal with Matt Ryan in a quarterback situation. How about his consistent defense? Yeah, the offensive line helps a lot. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be trying to draft a quarterback either. So I like the Kyle Pitts. I like the Kyle Pitts pick. You feel me? Hey, tight ends block a little bit.
What's a tight end when you got Julio Jones still? Like, you still got Julio Jones out there. Like, you don't need a tight end to block.
Julio's on the trade block.
He on the trade block. I heard there's a couple teams that might go get him. Just like I heard the Eagles might go get him. I know you would be sick.
Man, I don't know. You get Kyle Pitts, that's almost like having two Julio Joneses. Kyle Pitts looks a lot like Julio in those workouts, man. 6'5", running a sub 4.4, a low 4.40. Kyle Pitts is legit, man. You know, you pair him up with Julio and you pair him up with Calvin Ridley. You're gonna have to pick your poison when it comes to defending the Falcons, man. I don't know. Rob, what you think about this selection of Kyle Pitts, man?
It's a great pick for them, especially with them up. I know with Julio on the block, great tight end, probably one of the next generation tight ends outside of George Kittle and Travis Kelce. I feel like it's gonna be a great pick for them, open up the offense and trying to revive Matt Ryan. Yeah, like homeboy said, Matt Ryan has been playing shaky lately. You know, I'm a Philly guy, I love him, but he's been playing shaky these last few years. I feel like he ain't got to the point where he needed to retire, but age is starting to catch up to him. So yeah, probably look for a quarterback later in the draft, but definitely not in the first round. He ain't doing that bad. He need a quarterback in the first round, the fourth pick. But it's a great pick for him. So hopefully the Falcons, they need to focus on that defense though. That's what's really killing them. But pick was best on the board, and he's obviously the best player on the board for them. So can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, so you just said Kittle, right?
Huh?
You just said Kittle, right? One of those elite tight end. Was he not drafted past the first round, like in the third round?
He was, but this is like right here. He's like, I think he's gonna be better than Kittle and Kelce as long as he stay healthy.
Wow, I like that statement. I like that statement a lot.
Y'all hold that for years now, man.
Yeah, I feel that though. I like Pitts though. I ain't gonna lie. Like I like the Pitt. I like the pick. I like Pitts. I think Pitts.
Pitts is closer
he's
to
the best
Darren
prospect
Waller
in the draft, bro.
than the Kittle.
Best prospect in the draft.
I mean, he's a guy that's going to run up the scene. He can make plays. He's a big red zone threat. I think that's a great pick. I mean, best man on the board. He has potential to get you multiple Pro Bowls. I mean, who are you going to double team? Let's say Julio doesn't get moved. Who are you going to shade? Julio, Ridley, Pitts. I think it really gives Atlanta something to go on. If you could block a little bit offensively, they should put up some numbers.
Yeah, these are facts. All right, well, y'all know what time it is, man. The next team on the board. The next team on the board is the Cincinnati Bengals, and it seems like I think I hear some phones ringing. That must mean the pick is in.
And with the 5th pick overall, the Bengals are going with left tackle Swiddle from Oregon. And that's what Joe Burrow need right now. Right now, the guy needs an offensive line. We all saw how he was running around and could barely get open. And I'm a big lineman kind of guy, so I love this pick. I was gonna go with Jamar, but I was like, nah, I can't see that, man. What a new quarterback needs an offensive line, and from Giants experience, if we would have drafted an offensive line right before Daniel Jones, I would have loved that pick even more.
Yeah, I like the pick, man. Sewell got some generational. I don't throw this word out around too much, but I threw it around for Kyle Pitts, and I also throw it around for Sewell, man. He has some generational potential. We'll see if he reaches it, but I mean, you see the tape. He's an athletic specimen. He moves. He's a dancing bear out there. Scruff, what you thinking about Penei Sewell, man?
Well, man, I mean, talking about left tackles, talking about offensive tackles, I think there's a direct correlation between success in the NFL and the offensive line. Usually the worst teams typically have the worst offensive lines. Typically the best teams have the best offensive lines. So a guy like Joe Burrow, especially the way he went down, you have an athletic left tackle. Sewell has all the tools that you need. Typically these type of players go in the top 5. Great value right here. Best left tackle in the draft by far.
Yeah, facts. Great pick. Looks like next up, man, the Dolphins are on the clock. The Dolphins have been wielding and dealing during this offseason, man. They are not playing. They're not standing back. I guess they feel like this is their window, man. They're starting to open up their window, and they're making big-time moves. I love to see it because I do believe in Coach Brian Flores. I'm still on the fence about Tua, but we all love him coming in. So we'll see if what Tua is able to make happen. And I don't know. I think I hear another phone ringing, fellas. It was a phone, which means the pick is in.
Hey, with the 6th pick, the Miami Dolphins select Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of LSU. I think this was pretty much, I wouldn't call it a no-brainer pick, but there's a lot that the Dolphins offense needs right now, including offensive line, but receivers needs on the offensive end. And Jamar Chase, what more can you ask for from a receiver? 127 receiving yards, 20 receiving touchdowns in 2019 with Joe Burrow and that historic, 2019 Tiger squad. I mean, he had 221 reception yards and 2 TDs in the title game alone in 2019. So he's probably one of the most talented, I'd say the most talented receiver prospect in this draft class. And I think, it's exactly what Tua needed. He needed more weapons to throw to. So I think it's a great pick for the Dolphins going with Jamar Chase.
I think I agree. I couldn't agree more, man. Jamar Chase he got legend status, man. I can't call him generational, but he's right below that threshold, man. Any other comments on Jamar Chase, fellas?
No, I think he has all the makings. He looks like a true number one. I think when you have a young quarterback, you get him a weapon, and that's what they needed.
Yeah.
So does he make Tua better, or does Tua make him better?
I mean,
We'll go both ways.
But
You know?
I feel like he'll make Tua better.
Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing we all could agree, right? The Tua last year was pretty finicky, right?
Yeah, he looked like a rookie.
Tua was all right. I mean, Jamar Chase, bro, like, it remains to be seen. Like, Joe Burrow was #1 pick last year. I think he played pretty well in the first year. But, I mean, we know for certain that the tandem that they had at LSU was legendary. And as good as Justin Jefferson did this season, Jamar Chase was so much better than Justin Jefferson, and anybody with 2 eyes could see that. So, what is good Jamar Chase going to do to the league is just my question. So, I think it's a great pick.
He won't do as much as Justin Jefferson.
Spicy take, but I like it. We'll see.
He won't. I mean,
if he does, it's because Tua didn't get him the ball. Ultimately, receivers only going to be as productive as his quarterback.
I mean,
Kirk Cousins ain't nothing either,
you want Tua.
I mean, I don't know who you take. I'd take Tua, grow. I guess.
Tua got to grow, but if Tua shows any growth, man, we could see a very similar season to Justin Jefferson out of Jamar Chase. I do believe Jamar Chase is a better prospect than Justin Jefferson coming out, and I guess that'll really show us what Tua got, depending on what Jamar does.
I mean, I think out of the receivers, honestly, Jamar Chase might be the one that has the worst rookie year. I mean, just situationally, everybody else is probably going to land with someone.
Hey, yo, it only happened on Sports Dakota, man. Man Gerardo is out of pocket, bro. He about to get fined. We about to send a fine to his doorstep, bro.
My bad, Commissioner. I thought this was I thought we're not testing for marijuana no more.
G try and get us canceled by the by the powers that be. We got to advertise, Mr. Sell, G.
Look at it like this, right?
Show, G.
Hey, go ahead. Same thing happened to CeeDee Lamb last year, right? I mean, he still had a great season, but imagine how much better it would have been with Dak. I mean, when you have quarterback play, you can excel at receiver. I think whoever goes to Miami, man, that's a rough sledding right there. You know what I'm saying? You got an uphill battle.
Nah, that's real. That's real. And I think I hear some phones in the background. That must mean the Lions pick is in.
All right. The Detroit Lions pick Devonta Smith. The reason why I took Devonta Smith, they definitely need a wide receiver after Kenny Golladay left for free agency and they lost Marvin Jones. I mean, a lot of people having a lot of issues with his weight, but as I said earlier, Deshaun Jackson was always a deep threat when he was healthy. Stephon Diggs isn't that big either. You see how he kills the league every year. Tyreek Hill as well. He's a deep threat player. I mean, any coach with common sense are not going to send him on a quick slant down the middle. He's going to get lit up like the 4th of July. But as long as you keep him with the deep threats, they'll be straight.
Hey, man, I don't think that size matters too much for Devonta Smith, man. That's going to be the knock on him his whole career. I don't think the guy's going to get a pound over 180. If he does, I'd be shocked. But at the end of the day, it's about the dog. It's about the dog in the fight, man. You know what I mean? It's about the fight in the dog. And I think Devonta Smith got all that. And I would be surprised, very surprised, if he doesn't end up being the best receiver from this class. And I love Jamar Chase, but I still think Devonta Smith will end up being the top dog when it's all said and done.
No question.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bryce. I mean, I don't know who's going to be the best, man. I mean, we can see. I think both of them. I think all top three is going to be really good. But it's just something to be said about players as just gamers. It don't really matter what your weight is and your height. And when the combine comes, people tend to get real caught up in the physical attributes of players. But ultimately, the only attribute you need to be seeing is right in here. You know what I'm saying? And he's got plenty of that. If you watch the tape right here, what you see between the eyes and what he's got here, that's what matters more a football player. And I take that into consideration more than I consider somebody's weight, 40 time, and shuttle and whatnot.
So, quick question: does Smith has like a Barry Bonds moment where he's like small and out of nowhere gets big?
Whoa.
It's a different type of show now.
I'm not
It's a different type of show, G.
I'm trying to make a great comparison, but like, does he not get bigger? Like, he's gonna be in the league where like nutrition, he's gonna have the best nutrition doctors and any staff that's gonna get him big, and that's the one knock on him.
So you want the man to take Viagra? No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, though, right? I feel like Bryce said, he's a small frame guy. He has the build of a basketball player to me. I think he can reasonably get up to like maybe 190 without compromising his game, his quickness, his speed. But anything past that, I mean, you might be talking injuries. But I think he'll put a little weight on. I think we'll see him around 185.
Bro, you talking? He ain't even in the stream.
Hilarious, man. Hilarious. Well, I think I hear a whole lot of phones going off. I don't know what's going on out here in the Panthers war room. But that must mean something, fellas. It must mean that the pick is in. With the 8th pick of the 2021 draft, the Carolina Panthers have traded it. The Carolina Panthers have traded their selection to none other than the Washington football team. And the Washington football team is now on the clock. With the 8th pick in the 2021 NFL draft, the Washington football team selects Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. This is a shocker right here. This is definitely a shocker, man. I don't think anybody expected Justin Fields to go number 8, especially to the Washington football team. But Washington football team struck out with the Ohio State quarterback a year or 2 years ago. They go back to the Ohio State well. We will see if they're able to, make something shake this go around. I think Justin Fields is getting criminally underrated in this draft process. Like T said earlier, he came in as the bona fide 2, even competing for that number 1 quarterback spot with Trevor Lawrence. And now, he gets his day with the Washington football team. We'll see what he can make of it. What do you guys think about Justin Fields going to the football team?
Yeah, I'm going to let you finish, but this is collusion. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish, bro. I'm going to let you finish. But, no, in all seriousness, I need to know the terms and conditions of this trade because I don't see it. But I like the idea. I like it. Yeah, but I like the idea. I mean, he's a solid prospect. But I don't know. I need to see I need Adam Schefter to report me the details.
Well, the Washington football team had to give up their 2nd-round pick from this year, their 3rd-round pick from this year, as well as their 2nd-round pick from next year. And they had to give their 1st-rounder as well. So a nice haul to move up, man. It puts them above the Jimmy Johnson famed draft chart. They're supposed to, show you the value of each pick. They're well above that. So the Panthers got a haul in return. And I guess the Panthers are decided to build around Sam Darnold. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think Sam Darnold's a guy?
It's one of the most ridiculous trades. This is actually interesting because this is consistent, right? This is par of the course for Washington. Like, if there's a team that is going to get it wrong every time, it's Washington. So I think this draft pick makes a lot of sense for them. You struck out on an Ohio State quarterback. They've all struck out. You know what I'm saying? You don't bet against streaks. Any gambler would tell you that. And you pick another Ohio State quarterback. It's part of the course. It's part of the course. I mean, if you want to see them ruin 2 Ohio State quarterback careers, then that's the pick. But I'm not surprised. I don't even understand trading away Justin Fields for Sam Darnold. I don't think anybody sensibly would do that. But, I mean, stranger things have happened. If Washington makes that jump, they must believe in him.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, the football team needs a quarterback, man. You don't want to go into the season. Don't get me wrong, Fitzmagic is a good holdover, but you need him. You need somebody that could sit for a year, learn the system. I think Justin Fields is another prime candidate for that type of situation. I do think that the Washington football team probably wanted Trey Lance, but I also believe that they had to narrow down to Trey Lance or Justin Fields. They want a mobile quarterback. Both those guys bring you that. And, comparing Justin Fields to Dwayne Haskins, I don't think it's too fair. I think he's a totally different quarterback. And I think that, he even put up better numbers, if you ask me, at Ohio State. To go back to that Clemson game and watch Justin Fields, dude has star potential written all over him. Kev, what you think about the decision to Washington go up and nab Justin Fields?
I would love to see it. I think Fields is clearly, he's, in my opinion, top 2 prospect at quarterback position in this draft. I know that Washington probably will be looking to move up in the draft. I think they would. I mean, with all the quarterback talent, they'll be going early in the draft in the first round. So, I hope it happens. I would love it. It's a great pick.
Somebody had to like it, man. Dang. It is a great pick for the football team, man. You think about the position they're in right now. They've got something bubbling over there. We'll see what it ends up being. But looks like the Broncos are on the clock. And I hear some phones ringing. That must mean that the pick is in.
With the number 9 pick, the Denver Broncos select cornerback J.C. Horn, South Carolina.
I like that pick a lot.
I feel like J.C. Horn is the guy. He's the number 1 cornerback. I mean, you can debate him, certain, but I think NFL pedigree. I mean, he's the son of Joe Horn. He's a dog. He has that mentality. He wants to get on the line of scrimmage and pressure. I think fits perfectly with what Vic Fangio wants to do. You need corners if you're rushing the passer. I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, can't go wrong with J.C. Horn, man. The thing I like about him is he's an elite competitor, man. You put on that tape, all you do is see that man competing play after play after play, bro. I think the one thing that worries me about him just a little bit on tape is he's very grabby, man. He plays with his hands. He's on top of the receivers, man. But it's a little too physical. I think at the next level, I think he will have to adjust to that. But once that adjustment happens, I think we could be looking at a Richard Sherman type of corner in the next level, a guy that could be the face of a defense at the cornerback position. And you don't usually get that from that position, man. Any other comments on J.C. Horn? Y'all think he's the top cornerback in this draft?
I mean, it's a toss, like you said, between him and Surtain, but he definitely was a great pick for the Broncos. So they couldn't go wrong with that either or with Surtain or Horn. So it was a win-win situation for real.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it is kind of a win-win when you talk about those. Those guys are definitely 1A and 1B. I don't think it's much of a drop-off when it comes to that. Cowboys are now on the clock, and I think I hear some phones ringing, fellas, which means the pick is in.
Dallas Cowboys select cornerback Patrick Surtain from Alabama. We finally get a cornerback that we need that can lock down one side of the field, because Lord knows we need that. The way our pass defense playing last year, Dak putting up 40 points and our defense giving up 45. So this is definitely going to help us put us back on top of the NFC East as well as the NFC, as long as Dak stay healthy. So it's about time.
Yeah, I just have one question. How you going to stay on top when you aren't on top?
Don't worry about it. Who was on top of Washington last year? I mean, they got on top last year because Dak was out. We had Andy Dalton out there. We know he wasn't going nowhere with Andy Dalton. Thank God he's gone. So, it is what it is. People love to see when we was down. They're going to hit us even more when we up. So
I think people are used to y'all being down, man. But it's all good. We'll see what the Cowboys do. And that makes it what? Is that back-to-back corners in the first round for the Cowboys? Or that year when they take Trayvon Diggs, year before?
No, yeah, it was the year before.
No, that was last year. It was 2 years ago. I can't really remember.
Yeah, so they going back to the cornerback well once again, man. I like that cornerback combo, bro. 2 Alabama guys, Surtain and Diggs. Man, that's turned into a nice little secondary, that's for sure.
Oh, I see the man's question is Dan Quinn, so Lord help us. Don't worry about it. It's going to be this year when we actually do it, though, man.
We shall see.
So they say.
Looks like we've got another selection on the way. NFC East rival. Let's see who the Giants decide to take this year's NFL draft.
It's only right that we stick it to the Eagles for what they did to us last year. And we're going to go receiver to give Daniel Dimes some more offensive power with Jalen Waddle from Alabama.
Brought in some speed with that. I don't know how. That is the most unearned nickname of all time, calling that man Danny Dimes. That man ain't dropped no dimes on NFL level. Somehow got dimes in his nickname, bro. You got to earn a nickname like that.
But in New York, at least we have a team with a name, Washington Football Team. That's what y'all need to worry about. Get a name this year. Get it together.
Hey, I do think Jalen Waddle is going to be definitely, if he goes to the Giants, that's a great pickup. The dude got speed on top of speed, so I don't think you can go wrong with drafting speed this high. Any thoughts on Waddle? Y'all, where do y'all think he ranks as far as the Alabama receivers come in the next last few years? Y'all think he's a top Alabama receiver?
I think he's easily better than Devonta. I think if he doesn't get hurt, man, like I said, Devonta doesn't get that high. I think Waddle probably leads the team in receiving. I feel like he was leading the team in receiving yards before he got hurt. I think he had 400-something yards, but explosive with the ball in his hands, explosive in and out of his routes. I mean, I think he'll do fine in today's NFL at least. I think great pick.
All right, no slight to Devonta, but I would have taken Waddle in the draft ahead of Devonta too. Just extremely explosive. He's a great route runner, even though Devonta may be a little better, but Waddle's a really talented route runner, pass catcher, and speed guy who's gonna catch the long one.
I got some insider news, man. Gettleman loves Devonta Smith. Waddle's only the second option. If Smith falls down to the Giants are taking the Smith.
Giants are desperate. They're taking anything they can get.
Hey, we're not the
if that's your draft strategy, it tells you where your team is at.
We're not the sleazy chick at the end of the bar, bro. Come on now.
Anybody we can draft, man. That's crazy.
Giants are definitely they draft strategy is like the dude at the bar after he had about 5 drinks. He's looking for anything with some titties and some ass, man. That's what y'all looking for. Y'all drafting a wide receiver, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like y'all not even looking at the rest of the depth chart. All y'all looking for some titties and some ass, man. I can't stand y'all.
Hey, man, you can't go wrong with some titties and some ass, man.
I don't think anybody on here will disagree with that. All right, well, hey, man. NFC East. And guess what? The next NFC East pick is in. Let's kick it to my guy, Scruff Lion, to announce the Eagles' selection in this year's NFL draft.
With the number 12 selection in the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State.
Nice pick. I think that's great value right there. What you think? What you got to say about Parsons, Scruff?
Honestly, I'm a little hurt that that a receiver didn't fall down because I was really dedicated to drafting a receiver. It's not a 7-round mock, so I wanted to represent and put something on the board for my guy Jalen Hurts, who I believe is a franchise quarterback. But with that being said, I had to stay true to my GM strategy, which is to be the best available player. The Eagles don't specifically don't necessarily draft linebackers. They haven't done it in years. So it's very unlikely they would go number 1. But a Penn State linebacker is literally linebacker you, and he's the best linebacker in the draft, arguably the best defender in the draft. For value at number 12, I think that's just the best pick. And when you look at the Eagles draft roster, there isn't a single linebacker on the roster that's a competent starting caliber linebacker. They've been playing with mediocre linebackers for the entire time of watching them since Jeremiah Trotter retired. So that's a really long time. It's much needed. So I think it was a great pick, based on the way the board was breaking.
Word. All right. I like it, man. I think that's great value. Micah Parsons has a few character concerns surrounding him right now. Couple weird reports coming out of Penn State about Micah, but you can't believe everything you hear. You guys know how this time goes. They make things up about folks. Unless a picture drops with a guy hitting the gas mask bong, I don't know. I can't see Micah Parsons dropping down too far. So next team on the clock seems to be the Chargers, and the pick is in.
All right, with the 13th pick overall, the Chargers select Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle. Yeah, so I think Rashawn Slater is definitely he could be the best lineman in this draft. No slight to Penny Sewell, but he's a great tackle. He's versatile. He's athletic. He's got great footwork. Great first step off the line. He's a high IQ lineman. He knows how to release. Gets the next level on run plays. Explosive in the next level too. The next level of the defense, and he may be the fastest lineman in the draft too. I don't know if you all saw it, but he gave Chase Young some go when they faced off. No disrespect, my man Chase, but that's saying a lot if you could give Chase some go. So I mean, he may not be the best tackle, behind Penny Sewell, but he's not far off.
Facts, bro. I love Rashawn Slater. Honestly, I think his tape is even better than Sewell's, man. The more I start evaluating, I think his tape is better than Sewell's, but his measurables aren't. So if he was the same size as Sewell, I think we could have seen Rashawn Slater being the first O lineman off the board, man. I think that's a great pick right there. I think that's a great pick. All right, so we keeping it pushing, man. Looks like the Vikings are on the clock. And it also looks like the pick is in. I'm excited to see this, man. The Vikings need some help. They've fallen off the last couple seasons. Let's see who they go with.
And the Vikings are going to give Kirk Cousins some offensive line help. And they're going to go with Elijah Tucker from USC. Offensive tackle.
I like that. I think he could play anywhere along the offensive line except center. What you guys think about the pick of Elijah Vera Tucker?
I mean, you can't have too many, solid linemen in this league. Like Scruff said, you look at teams that win, their line's blocking. They're protecting the quarterbacks, and I think it makes sense. You got a young quarterback, get some help.
Yeah. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he need a lot of help over there.
I don't know, not a young quarterback, premier quarterback.
Yeah, not facts. I don't know if he's premier, and I don't know if Elijah Vera Tucker would be enough help for Kirk Cousins. I think Stephon Diggs leaving kind of exposed him a little bit. Well, hey, Justin Jefferson did jump into that spot and really show off, but look like they might need an Adam Thielen replacement pretty soon as well. So we'll see what goes on with that, man. So moving down the list. The Pats, New England Patriots, has been a lot of rumbles of them wanting to trade up and get a quarterback. They didn't do it. Let's see what they do with this selection. I'm excited for this one. The pick is in.
There we go. Number 15 pick. New England Patriots select the Kwity Paye. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Defensive end, Michigan.
Yeah, I like that pick, man. You can't go wrong with an edge rusher. What y'all feeling about that Kwity Paye selection?
Good pickup, man. They need a pass rusher.
I honestly thought this pick would be with the Eagles. I thought he wouldn't last, and I think it's a mistake to take Parsons over edge rusher. But I think Belichick is going to look to get after these young quarterbacks, man. These young guys that can move, man. Paye has some crazy measurables, like 6.5 cone drill. I mean, you don't see linemen running like that. And bending the corner, getting around tackles, that's what you need in this league. So I think it's a solid pick.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Kwity Paye, and he's got some size to be an edge rusher. Usually it seems like the last few edge rushers and the last few drafts that have come out have been more of the narrow frame dudes. little bit skinnier. I'm thinking about a Brian Burns type, thinking about a Clelin Ferrell type. Quiddy Pay, man, he's a solid built dude. He's a solid built guy, and he's got speed to get around the edge, but he's also going to stop and run from day one. So I definitely like that selection a lot because nowadays it's all about rushing. Nobody's worried about the run game anymore. So you got if you're an elite edge rusher, got to be able to do both. Cardinals on the clock, and the pick is in. This pick is courtesy of Young Rome 22, who cannot be with us just yet. Hopefully he hops on in a minute to announce the rest of his picks. And the Arizona Cardinals select Christian Darrisaw, tackle, Virginia Tech. Hey, man, I think Christian Darrisaw could, when it's all said and done, we might look back and he might be the best tackle in this draft. Dude is solid, bro. I heard about a few medical red flags coming out about him recently. But, hey, man, still a young guy, so he's got time to get over those medical humps. I do like Christian Darrisaw a lot, man. Virginia Tech is known for every few years producing a solid tackle prospect, and they do it once again with Darrisaw. Big dude, another one of those dancing bear types, great feet. I rarely see him get pushed back. I've seen some concerns about him saying that he doesn't have that mauler mentality, but honestly, at this point, I don't think that's really what you want from your left tackle. You want that guy that understands the pocket depth, the guy that can push linemen right by the quarterback without taking himself out of the play. And that's a guy I think Christian Darrisaw can be. I've been very, very impressed with his tape. What you guys thinking about Darrisaw? Any comments on him?
I mean, I was hoping that the Cardinals took a offensive guy, somebody who couldn't help. I think that's a solid pick, man, especially when you got a guy like Nick Bosa coming back. This game, I mean, just look at the draft. It looks like you need guys that can throw the ball, guys that can catch the ball, and then guys that can get to the quarterback. So with that being said, you need a guy that can protect the quarterback. We've seen 3-4 tackles go by now. It's a solid pick, man. You got to protect your investment, and Kyler's that guy.
Yeah, facts. Hey, that's a good point. B Tech might just be tackle university. They always cranking one out, man. They always got a tackle for you, and it's surprising because you don't really think of Virginia Tech as these high-powered offense. You're usually thinking about Virginia Tech's defense when you think about that football team. But hey, man, Virginia Tech stays with a tackle. That's for sure. And now we're getting up on the Raiders selection. The Raiders are on the clock. Man, Mayock and Gruden hasn't worked out as seamless as I think people thought, man. Like, I feel like when Mayock and Gruden teamed up, I expected a lot more, man. Am I the only one that feels that way?
I think they're on the course. They're right in the course. I think that it's just the whole AB situation where it looks kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they took Ruggs a little high.
Took Ruggs high. I honestly feel like they took Clelin Ferrell a little high too, bro. Not that I don't like Clelin Ferrell. Like he still got potential, but man, I mean, now they took him number 3 overall? 3 or 4 overall. I can't remember exactly, but I thought that was high when they grabbed him. So we'll see what he ends up being, but 4. So we'll see. Mayock and Gruden, maybe they got something up their sleeve this year. And I hear some phones ringing, so that can only mean one thing. The pick is in.
With the 18th pick of the draft, we have Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher.
Hold on, Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Name of your turn.
That's right. Yep, the Dolphins, they definitely needed an edge rusher. With
I'm gonna let you finish when it's your pick, Miami Dolphins. The Las Vegas Raiders select Jeremiah Owusu Karamoa, linebacker from Notre Dame.
I like that. I like that selection. I like that selection a lot, man. I'm kind of salty about that, man. I would have loved to see him fall even further, man. Maybe my Washington football team could have made another trade and went up and got him.
Yeah, honestly, I'll speak on behalf of the Raider Nation. I thought that he was maybe could have been on the board a little bit later. Wasn't worth trying to angle around. Defense and offensive line was major concerns for the Raiders. We had some eyes on some offensive linemen that just went off the board, but I felt the best value on the board was bringing in somebody that could be a 3-down linebacker for the Raiders and give us some stability center for defense.
Yeah, nah, facts, man. I think bruh, Koromoa is a problem, bruh. Like the dude is like one of those hybrid. Kind of reminds me of Shaq Thompson when he first came to Carolina. One of those hybrid type linebackers that's fast enough to keep up with tight ends and even receivers in those nickel packages or the big nickel packages, but can also bring the thump in the run game. Man, Koromoa's got a chance to be a real star in this league. I even think he kind of projects to be more kind of like a it's my guy from the Bears that went to Georgia, man. His name is slipping from me right now. What's that linebacker that went to Georgia? I don't know, man, but y'all know who I'm talking about, bro. I really think
Smith.
Roquan. He reminds me a little bit of Roquan Smith. Slightly undersized, but makes up for it with that dog mentality. I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah might end up being could very well be the best linebacker from this class, man. It might not be that close when it's all said and done. We'll see. He's my number 2 linebacker on my big board, so I like that pick a lot. I think that's a great pick by the Raiders. So my man got to it a little early, but the Dolphins are now on the clock, and as y'all already heard, that pick is most definitely in. So
it's been in, but so yeah, definitely spoiled it a little bit. With 18th pick, we have again Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher, to the Miami Dolphins. So yeah, they needed another edge rusher opposite of Emmanuel Ogbah. Ojulari, he's tall, 6'3", 240. He uses his speed to blow by linemen and gets into the backfield. Has a powerful jab move. He's real effective in creating space with it, and it's hard to block the guy. I mean, he's got a full arsenal of physical moves that help him beat linemen, tackles, and make plays in the backfield. So I think that is the perfect selection for the Dolphins as they move forward with developing their defense.
Facts, bro. Facts. I think that's a hell of a pick, man. I think a lot of people sleeping on him in this draft process. But hey, T said earlier, you can never have enough good linemen. I also think that edge rush is another one of those positions you can never have enough of. If you see one, you got to grab them because you never know. That's the one position outside the quarterback that can change the game the most, in my opinion, is the edge rusher.
Definitely.
All right, so earlier the Panthers traded away their pick to the Washington football team and received a 19th pick and 2 second-rounders and a 3rd-rounder in return. And now the Panthers pick is in.
Lose.
With the 19th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Caleb Fairley, cornerback, Virginia Tech. Man, I think if you're the Panthers, you got to be happy right now to trade out from number 8 all the way down to 19 and get a guy who could very well be the best corner in this draft. Before this pre-draft process really kicked off, when it was only about tape, people had Caleb Fairley ahead of Surtain, ahead of J.C. Horn. Now, once you know how the evaluation process goes, when people start nitpicking, medical red flags start coming back. And I think that hurt Caleb Fairley a little bit. He had a back injury that hurt him a little bit. Couldn't really perform in his pro day the way we would have liked to see him. But I think this guy on tape, man, he got hella potential, bro. Like he's got top cornerback potential. And I think Caleb Fairley could end up, like I said, possibly being the best cornerback from this draft. We'll see how that goes. You see guys want him to fall, man. You see guys want him to fall. So we'll see what happens with that. That's a good question right there, B. What is the Panthers' identity at this point? I still think they're crafting that, man. Do y'all believe in Matt Rule, turning the Panthers around?
I do. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why I think that they're gonna turn it around. It's like, I love Teddy Bridgewater, but I think he's a pretty solid quarterback. But I think their offense, like if you look at the players across the offense, like I think most of those players like overperformed. Obviously, McCaffrey missed some time, but the time when he was there, he was the most productive running back in the league. The offense is golden, you know what I'm saying? And that's really a testament to the offensive coordinator. But I feel good about the coach and the whole, the general direction of the team. But I like Fairley. I like the pick because I think you can walk away feeling like you got a cornerback that could arguably be the best corner in the draft. He right up there with the rest of them guys. So and you getting additional draft pick compensation. You know, if Sam Darnold don't work out, it's cool. They don't have a whole loft of draft picks to fall on, and I think they'll be just fine. I think the system works, and I'm very confident in their system.
I think Matt Rule is a coach, a hidden gem. Every program he's been at, they improve. I don't know if y'all are familiar with college football, but when he came to Temple, he definitely turned that program around quickly. Also, he got Philip Walker, PJ Walker from Temple right now. I mean, obviously, PJ a little okay in the NFL, but he was definitely a gem at Temple. Then when he went to Baylor, they got instantly better. And now, I mean, obviously with Carolina, I really don't charge him for the first year since McCaffrey got injured. You know, that's about 99% of their offense. So they were missing one of their key pieces. I think now they got. I mean, I love Teddy, but I think Darnold with a fresh start is going to prove some people wrong. So especially with Robin Anderson, so we see what goes there. But I think Matt Rule will turn him around, at least to get some at least 8 wins next year. I say around 8 to 9 to be safe.
Really did it with all his guys and stuff too. That's you gotta love a coach for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds a little Steve Spurrier-esque to me. I do like Matt Rule though, man. I do like Matt Rule. I think he's got that juice you need from a coach. And I do like the trend of these young coaches and the young coaches that come from successful programs. It doesn't have to be the biggest college program. Matt Rule has success. I think back to his time at Temple. I mean, he had Temple on the map for a nice little minute. My Philly guys know all about that. Yeah. But I do think Matt Rule will eventually turn the Panthers around. But they got to get Christian McCaffrey back to 100% healthy. So we'll see. I think that's a very big component to this. And now, man, the Bears are officially on the clock, and the pick is in. G was representing the Bears. Gerardo had to drop off for a second. I think he was having some technical difficulties. I'll announce the pick for him. On behalf of Gerardo and the Chicago Bears select Mac Jones, quarterback, Alabama. So Mac Jones finally goes, fellas. T is the biggest Mac Jones fan on the planet. So let's start with you, bro. What you think?
I think you got Teddy Bridgewater and Mac Jones. No, Bridgewater in Denver, right? I'm not a Mac Jones guy, but they need a quarterback. So I don't really got a whole lot to say about it. So I think it's a decent pick. I like a few other guys over Mac Jones, but I think it's a decent pick.
Yeah, what I love most about the pick is that T is now on camera talking about how much he doesn't like Mac Jones. And it's very, very possible that Mac Jones is going to be the quarterback for the 49ers starting tomorrow. So I'm very excited for what the future holds. But as far as this pick goes, Mac Jones for the Bears, I think it's exactly what you've been looking for the Bears. All you need is a steady hand that's going to create a winning culture and just get down, just check down and handle the business that need to be handled, man. Stop doing all the extra shit. That's the one thing that Mitchell Trubisky just couldn't figure out. He just always did way too much. And, just do the simple things. And Mac Jones does the simple things very well. So I love the pick.
Yeah, man. I think I like the pick too, bro. I don't see where the Mac Jones hate's coming from, but I get what T's concerns are. I mean, Mac Jones did have a perfect scenario around him. You can't deny that.
Have we ever seen Mac Jones struggle?
Okay. So have you ever seen Tom Brady struggle?
Yes. Yes.
Did you though?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you?
I'm a little older than you.
Nah, but I see what you're saying though, Scruff. Like you don't see Tom Brady ever looking too crazy out there. I think Mac Jones did have the perfect storm in Alabama, but if you got the perfect storm and you were struggling, that would have been a problem. Like, no, I didn't see Mac Jones struggle. And if I did, I would have a huge problem with that because of all the pieces he had around him. He had the pieces around him. He had the exact same pieces that Tua Tagovailoa had, and guess what? He did a lot better with those pieces than Tua. So I got to give him credit for that.
That's fair.
I see Rob answering some phones over there. Is that what I see? I see him replying to some text messages. That must mean that the Colts pick is in.
All right, 22nd pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Gregory Rousseau, defensive end from Miami. He started out this year. I feel like I hurt his draft stock a lot. I feel like he should have probably went last year when he had 19 and a half sacks. I don't know who the hell told him not to go last year. But it's hurt him, but it's definitely going to help the Colts on the pass rush. Houston has 6.5. I think they lost one of I forgot the name, Avery or something like that. They went to Tennessee this year. It's about 6 sacks. So they're going to replace that heavily with my guy, Rozelle. I actually wanted him to go to Dallas, but, we had to take my man's Patrick Surtain, best player available. But I feel like it's a great pick for the Colts on the defensive line with him in Houston. They make crazy 1-2.
Man, I think I like it, bro. Like, people sleeping on that boy Rousseau, bro. I don't know why, bro. Like, 19 sacks in the season, that's nothing to play with, bro. I think I love that pick, man. I thought he was going to end up being a top 10 guy after that 19 sack year.
Yeah.
He sat out the season for COVID. A lot of players did that, though. I'm not holding that against anybody. There was a lot of unknowns at that moment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it seems like Jalen Phillips from Miami kind of stole a little bit of his thunder in that process. Ooh, Rousseau, man, going a little higher than I think most people would have expected. But I like the pick, bro. I like the pick. Any other comments on Rousseau, man? What y'all thinking about Rousseau, bro?
I mean, putting somebody on the line next to Buckner, I think it's gonna work, man. I think Colts might be a problem, man, next season.
They might be. And then I saw my guy Calais Campbell come out and was defending Rousseau after he was catching so much flack. Came out and said he thinks Rousseau is going to be better than he was in the league. If Rousseau comes in as anything like Calais Campbell, you hit on that pick because Calais Campbell is a dog, bro, and has been for some years. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes, man. Titans on the clock. T Boogie to announce the Titans pick. Let's get it.
The number 22 pick in the 2021 draft, the Tennessee Titans select wide receiver out of Tennessee, Rashad Bateman.
I like that. I do believe that Rashad Bateman is from Minnesota, but he is going to Tennessee.
My bad. Yeah, Minnesota. My fault.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Man. So my man goes out to like a whole new landscape going from Minnesota to Tennessee.
He will be in Tennessee though. I think that's the pick. I think potentially somebody trades up for this spot. I mean, whether it's Bateman, whether it's Tony, another receiver, I think this is a prime spot to trade up to. But if Titans keep the pick, I think it's Bateman. Big receiver, fast, 4.3. They lost Corey Davis. You need somebody to get the guys out the box for Henry. I think it's a good pick, man. I think Titans need to throw the ball a little more. You don't want to wear Derrick Henry down. So they're definitely going receiver. I think Bateman's the guy.
Yeah, I like it, bro. Rashad Bateman is a dog, bro. I mean, I remember he was when he was at Minnesota with, and I don't know why I'm blanking on so many names today, but he had the other dude, Johnson. He had Tyler Johnson out there in Minnesota with him. And Tyler Johnson was a dog too. I think that took a lot of the heat off Bateman in Bateman's sophomore season. I think the next season when he was asked to do it all by himself, it was a little tougher, but he still proved that he can play from anywhere. They ended up putting him in the slot a lot last season, and he dominated from the slot. He's already shown he's a good threat from the outside. Crisp routes, hands catcher. There's a lot to like about Rashad Bateman, man. I think that's a really good pick for the Titans, a team that just lost, one of their top receivers in Corey Davis to free agency. So that's a good pick, man. I like it a lot, bro. I like it a lot. Nice pick. Any other comments on Rashad Bateman? Anybody got no love for Rashad?
Yeah, I was hoping I was gonna have him go to the Packers, man. But that's a great pickup for them, though.
Yeah, no doubt. Nice pick, T. For sure. Very good one. All right, so now the Jets are on the clock. We're going back to New York. The Jets already have added, one of the top quarterbacks in this year's draft in Zach Wilson. I do wonder if they're going to get some help for him or what they're going to do. I mean, I feel like if you're the Jets, every pick you make right now has got to be an impact player. So I'm excited to see which direction they go with this selection. I think I hear some phones ringing from the Jets war room, which could only mean one thing. The pick is in.
Yeah, that was actually the pick. So it just came in. The pick is New York Jets will follow up their quarterback selection with the selection of Elijah Moore, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. A little bit of explosiveness going out to New York, man. Talk about Elijah Moore a little bit, bro.
Well, honestly, for the war room, Joe Douglas and the gang, we were looking at quarterback position, and we felt that we needed to put Zach Wilson in the position to succeed. So this is going to be called the Zach Wilson draft. We're going to go ahead and get an explosive receiver that we can pair alongside Denzel Mims, who was a second rounder last year, who we feel as a first round caliber player, and I think he played well. So he's a big, rangy, tall wide receiver. We wanted a small, explosive, dynamic wide receiver, somebody in the mold that we can really just start putting out in the slot, put him out wide, really just open the defense up. And I think this is a type of pick that will be an asset to a guy like Zach Wilson, and it's going to be allowing for a lot of big plays and explosive offense. And I expect to hear the name Wilson and Moore a lot in the future in New York.
I like it, man. Got to give you young guys some weapons. I think that's what you just did with that pick. Nice selection. Very nice selection, man. Hey, we headed to the Steel City. We're going to the Steelers. Pittsburgh has a pretty good history in the draft, man. It seems like every year they get one or two guys. Last year it was Claypool. A year before that it was Deontay Johnson. Hey, man, the Steelers seem like they add a weapon every year, so I'm excited to see who they take with this selection. And it looks like the pick is in.
Yeah, with the 24th pick, the Steelers select Najee Harris out of Alabama, running back.
Ooh. Oh, another shocker. Another shocker. I love it, man. That's a great pick, bro. That's a great pick. We just talk to us a little bit about Najee.
I mean, some people may think, the Steelers jumped up a little high with all the defensive talent. There are a lot of edge rushers. The Steelers could use another edge rusher, but or another linebacker. But Najee Harris, I mean, you can't go wrong. It seemed like every year after year, the Steelers would go to the playoffs. And maybe that's the one thing that would have took them to the next level is if they had a better running game. James Conner just went and left to the Cardinals through free agency. So that leaves the door wide open for Najee Harris to come in and really prove his potential.
Yeah, man. I think that's a great pick, bro. Not too long ago, I said the moment that Najee Harris gets to the NFL, he's a top 10 running back. And I said that was conditional upon Nick Saban not running him into the ground in Alabama. And I think there's still a ton of tread on those tires, man. I love Najee Harris. I love him in the first round. I know people don't like taking running backs in the first round, but you see what it did when Clyde Edwards-Helaire went to KC last year. That first half of the season, he was going crazy. J.K. Dobbins went crazy last year too. I mean, taking a running back high is not a mistake in my opinion. I love the selection of Najee Harris, and I feel like the Steelers are at their best when they had a running game. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna see what the Steelers can do with Najee Harris. But I do like the pick a lot, bro. I really, really like that pick. Anybody else got some comments on Najee Harris?
No, I love that pick. I mean, you got to run the ball to keep a guy like Lamar Jackson off the field. And what do you do when you got a fading quarterback that you don't want him to throw 40, 45 times a game, 30 times a game? You hand the ball off. I think if you hand the ball off, Big Ben can manage and, throw you to a couple wins versus putting the team on his back the entire season. So I love that pick.
Absolutely. You've seen Najee, he can do it in the all-around running back there.
All-around running back. That's a fact. And he kind of reminds me of a guy they used to have in Le'Veon Bell, too. I don't know what you guys think about that comparison, but the way he can do it on the ground, the way he can do it in the passing game, I think Najee Harris does compare favorably to Le'Veon Bell. Y'all see what Le'Veon did back when he was over there in Pittsburgh. So never got quite to that level ever again with the Jets, you know what I mean, or with KC. But gotta love the Steelers bringing the running back because it seems like I guess Connor's gone now, so. They need that RB. I don't think McFarland's a nice addition out of UMD a couple years ago, but I don't know if he's ready for prime time just yet. I think Najee Harris can step in and be that RB1 immediately. Now the Jaguars are on the clock, and the pick is in. With the 25th pick in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Tevin Jenkins, old tackle out of Oklahoma State. I, for one, thought Tevin Jenkins would go a little earlier in this draft. I really like Tevin Jenkins a lot, man. You talk about a guy that's a mauler. He's nasty. He plays with that attitude I love from offensive linemen. And if he doesn't work out a tackle, he can always kick to the inside and be a great offensive guard. I think when you talk about the Jaguars, you go Trevor Lawrence with the first pick. You got to protect your investment. I know a lot of Jaguars fans might want that weapon off the rip, but hey, man, you just spent the first round pick on a guy that can be your quarterback for 10 plus years. We saw what happened with Andrew Luck when the coach refused to get him the protection he needed. I don't think the Jaguars gonna waste no time getting that protection for Trevor Lawrence, man. So I think Tevin Jenkins is the pick right here. And I think if I was a Jaguars fan, I'd be jumping for joy if Tevin Jenkins lasts to pick 25. What y'all think about Tevin Jenkins, man? Y'all think he could be a top lineman in this league?
I think so, and it's exactly what the Jags needed. Drafting, Trevor Lawrence first overall. They needed somebody that's going to jump out in there and protect them. So, I think that's a really good pick.
Yeah, facts, man. I feel like you really can't go wrong with it. I feel like you really can't go wrong whenever you're taking an offensive lineman, as a high pick, bro. It's just like it's always gonna work, man. It's always gonna work if you ask me.
Protect your investment. I feel like if Trevor Lawrence gets the ball out of his hands, he'll look a lot better, man. And I don't think Trevor Lawrence can be running around back there holding the ball. I think he's gonna work. I like it. Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like every year, man, and I mean this could just be me, and I'm just thinking of like past few seasons. The top lineman is always a dog. The top rated lineman usually ends up being a star. But when you're talking about like that lower first round when it comes to linemen, there's always like a guy in that lower first round that ends up being just like a stalwart, bro. That just ends up being a bookend in that lower first round. I mean, it's happened, I feel like, the last 3-4 seasons, bro. And I for one always end up sleeping on linemen when I do my big board, but not this year, man. I made sure I focused heavily on the linemen, and I do believe that Tevin Jenkins, in my opinion, is one of those best guys, one of the best guys, man. Like I like him a lot. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes with Tevin Jenkins. Browns are now on the clock. Rome was making this pick, but like we said, Rome is unable to make it. So we will be announcing that pick for him. And the pick is in. With the 26th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Asante Samuel Jr., cornerback, Florida State. Hey, man, I think Asante Samuel Jr. is getting slept on in this process. In my opinion, he's one of those top cornerbacks. I think he's up there. He's right below a guy like, Surtain, J.C. Horn, just a step below. And a lot of people are going to knock him because of his size. But look, his pops played the exact same size, maybe even a little smaller, and was a straight dog, man. Asante Samuel Jr. plays with that dog. I think he can immediately be your slot corner with the potential to be that outside corner. And I think the slot corner position right now is just as important as the outside corner. And I think people are sleeping on that. I think Asante Samuel Jr. could see himself right. I could also see him falling to the late second, but I got a feeling the team's going to fall in love with that dog attitude that he plays with. What y'all think about Asante Samuel Jr.?
Interesting pick, man, because, they still have Denzel Ward, and I think they got the guy Hill. So I'm kind of curious, why the Browns wanted to go DB. Like, I feel like the Browns have a solid secondary. I feel like they could have used a guy in other spots, but, might be a best man available situation.
Yeah, we just got a live Zoom invite from the Browns camp. Wrong. what the Browns thinking drafting another cornerback? I mean, they already got Denzel Ward and they already got Greedy Williams. So y'all just being greedy with DBs? What's going on, bro?
Well, how many games have they played combined together? The best ability is availability. So they need guys that are out there. It's not outside of the realm of possibility for them to go DB here, but there's some interior D linemen on the board that they could take a hard look at. But you got to go best player available. And the Browns have been known to take players that nobody's expecting them to take. So I could definitely see them making this pick.
Man, I would have went defensive line, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think one thing about it is, man, you can have two outside guys and then you'll be getting toasted from the inside all day. We had a point right now in the NFL where it's easier than ever for receivers. It's basically, especially for slot receivers, man. You can barely put your hands on them. You got to have a guy that can match those clicks in the middle. And I think that I really think that Asante Samuel Jr. is that guy. I think Asante Samuel Jr., when it's all said and done, will go down as one of the best cornerbacks in this draft. He's competitive, and one other thing about him, when you're talking about that nickel corner, he's not afraid to hit. Some of these corners, they be huge, they be 6'1", 200 pounds. They don't want to lower the helmet and lower the shoulder and go get in the middle and tackle. But it's not Asante Samuel Jr., man. He's willing to put his body on the line. He's got the same ball skills as his pops, but to me, he's a little more aggressive of a tackler. I think he fits perfectly in that secondary, perfectly in that nickel role. I love Asante Samuel Jr. I think he's going to end up being a star in the NFL.
I mean, that's a crazy pick, man. It's a luxury pick. I mean, that tells me they plan on, going deep in the playoffs. I mean, you got Clowney, you got Garrett, and you got this talented secondary. They just added Johnson. That's a good pick, man. I mean, once you broke it down, you do need a nickel guy, man, in this league. Everybody has three receivers, so I get it.
Yeah. So keeping it moving, and the Baltimore Ravens, T, your favorite squad, man. The Ravens are on the clock. It's ironic that you were picking for the Ravens today, considering how much you love them. That's definitely sarcastic. Y'all know, if y'all watch the show, y'all know T can't stand the Ravens, but the Ravens are on the clock, and it seems that the pick is in. So let's hear what T Boogie got for the Ravens.
All right, man. The number 27 pick, Baltimore Ravens select Jason Owa out of Penn State, DN, outside linebacker, pass rusher. I just feel like the Ravens, they lost Judon. They don't have Yannick. I like their secondary, but you got to get to the quarterback in this league, man. If you want to beat some of these teams, you're going to have to apply some pressure, and they need edge rushers. So that's the pick. I know the Ravens fans want a receiver. They want to get Lamar Jackson some help, but that's not with this pick. We're going to get them some help on the defensive side.
I like it. I mean, I think Jason Owe, he tested great, man. And I think when you test like that, you got a good shot to go high in the draft. I've seen a lot of reports early saying he was a second rounder. But hey, man, testing the way he tested at Penn State Pro Day, that will shoot you up the board. Him and Micah Parsons, he was faster than Micah Parsons. That's kind of crazy when you're talking about Micah Parsons, the inside linebacker, always playing the edge, and he's faster than him. I like the pick. A lot. Any other comments on Jason Owe? Hope I'm pronouncing that right too.
Yeah, I think it's a really good pick. I thought, the Ravens probably wanted to go edge with this pick. It's one of the things that their defense could use a little more, of some strengthening. But all around, I think he's a great prospect.
Yeah, no doubt. Jason Owe might, I feel like this edge rushing class wasn't super strong. So I do feel like if this is not necessarily the year to need an edge rusher, I feel like this is the year to go out and get a receiver or a corner. When it comes to defense, definitely corner, maybe even an interior linebacker. But the edge crop was a little thin. It was a little thin, but I think Owe, man, he's got that athletic potential that you do like to see in those edge rushers. So we'll see what he becomes, man. I do think he has some, like I said, he has some big time potential. The Saints are now on the clock, and I think I hear some text coming in. I think the Saints are ready to make their selection. The pick is in. Let's see who the Saints select. I think the Saints are muted. I think the Saints have muted themselves. There we go.
Okay. All right. My bad. Zoom world, man. One more time. The Saints, 28th pick in the NFL draft, select Greg Newsome, defensive back.
I like it, man. I like it. Greg Newsome, a slimmer cornerback. He doesn't have the same size, the same physical build as the top guys when we're talking about Horn and we're talking about Surtain and even Fairley. But Greg Newsome is a competitor, and I think he has some of the better ball skills out of the corners in this draft. What do you think about when you made that selection, Scruff?
Well, I mean, honestly, the Saints were potentially looking at the quarterback crop. You know, trades were something that we explored, but it wasn't something that seemed imminent. So we decided to go with the best value, and we felt like the best value right now is defensive back. And, you know, we're a passing team, and we tend to be in a lot of shootouts. So we figured having another corner to our arsenal will help us in those late game situations as we, continue on this quest, man. Who that?
I feel it. What y'all think about the Saints grabbing a cornerback, man?
I love the pick. I think Greg Newsome is solid. I would have personally loved to see the Saints try to trade up and grab a quarterback. We talked about that on the show yesterday, but I think it's a solid pick. If you're not in love with any of the quarterbacks, you don't want to trade up. You definitely got to get a building piece, and Greg Newsome is a very solid pick, especially in the first round.
Yeah, facts. You can't. I don't know. I'm one of those guys, man. I know we said you can't have enough linemen, can't have enough rushers. I'm of the thought you really can't have enough cornerbacks. When you bring in a top-notch corner, man, the way corners get injured, they go down weekly. It seems like, when you got one of those top guys, man, it's just a premium position to me. To me, it's the second most important position on the defense after D-line, after edge rusher. I want a corner after that. You got a corner, that's a premium. There's not too many teams with good corners, bro. That's for sure. Not too many good corners in the league anymore. And I can't really argue with the pick. Packers are now on the clock, and the pick is in.
All right. Well, the 29th pick, the Green Bay Packers pick wide receiver Dyami Brown from the North Carolina. They finally in a 20-year drought of not drafting wide receiver in the first round. Lord knows they desperately need another option with Devonta Adams. This is a great pick for him and for Aaron Rodgers, especially with Aaron Rodgers getting frustrated in the NFC Championship game. Obviously not going for it late in the fourth. And they asked for a wide receiver, and they drafted a quarterback last year. It's kind of a smack in the face. So hopefully this might rekindle that relationship. Miami had about 2,000-yard seasons back in UNC. Over probably the last few years, they've been becoming a respectable football team. We all know UNC for basketball, but over the year they've been better each year with football. So I think he has a pretty decent career in Green Bay.
I like it, bro. I like it, man. I didn't expect you to go that way, but I can't lie, bro. I like the picks you've made today, Rob. Dyami Brown's another one of those receivers I think has gone under the radar, especially when you talk about the big 3 or 4 receivers at the top of the draft board. But, man, the dude balls out, bro. North Carolina's quarterback this past season has gotten a ton of credit for being, the next up when it comes to quarterbacks. And I think a part of that reason was Dyami Brown and those 2 running backs they had. Dyami Brown is dynamic. He is what his name suggests. And I think he can come in. He might not be a bona fide number 1 receiver when it's all said and done, but I think he's the type that can come in and produce instantly. So I like the pick a lot. Any comments on Diami Brown? Or are we moving on to the Bills? Because I think the Bills pick might just be in.
I like the idea of a wide receiver in that slot, but I'm not sure if that was the best wide receiver on my board.
All right, let's talk about it. Who do you have available that you still like out there?
I mean, personally, I like Rondell Moore a lot, and I liked my man out of LSU, Terrence Marshall Jr.
I like the Darius Toney a little better myself.
I like Marshall Jr. a lot.
Tony still on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I like those guys too, but I think when you talk about Diami Brown, I think you're talking about a different kind of receiver, right? I think those guys are more of those speed, explosive types. More of those like, I don't want to say hit or miss types, but kind of like a hit or miss. Sometimes you get those small, speedy guys or those 4-3 guys, and it's like they pan out or they're John Brown. You know what I'm saying? I think a guy like Diami Brown come in, he's gonna be a solid contributor off the rip. So I see what Rob was thinking with that selection, but I also feel y'all, man. Kadarius Toney, Rondell Moore. I love Rondell. I mean, those are guys with some explosiveness. Moving on. My bad.
So you saying John Brown is the equivalent of being a bust?
Yes.
I mean,
wow.
Do I?
Wow. Yo,
My bad.
I'm sorry.
I meant John Ross.
He meant John Ross.
Yeah, I meant John Ross.
Okay, all right. I'm about to say John Brown, bro. I wouldn't say no. He no.
Well,
bust,
John Brown
man.
had a bust because of where he got drafted, but John Brown ain't been a world beater. But John Ross is who I meant. The guy that went to Cincinnati. Yeah, first round of Cincinnati, who really hasn't panned out, man. I get my Browns and my Rosses mixed up sometimes.
About Johns out here.
Hey man, moving on.
You boys wild tonight.
Hey, bro, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but you
It's a
man,
different show on Wednesday.
out of pocket, bro. Hey yo, the Bills are on the clock. The Bills are on the clock, and the pick is in, man. Let's hear it.
All right, man. With the 30th overall pick, the Bills are going to select the running back out of Clemson, Travis Etienne, or Etienne. I think this is the perfect pick for the Bills. Running back is the one position that they're kind of slacking at right now, and he kind of fits the mold for what their offense does. Big play guy, improved his receiving out of the backfield a lot last year. Killed it with the yak. I believe he had like 16 touchdowns, over 44 yards. So he's a big play guy. So I think he'll fit perfectly with the Bills as they continue to push towards the championship.
Yeah, nah, bro. You can't go wrong with him. I feel like him, Najee Harris, and ETN were the top backs for me. I feel like you really couldn't go wrong with either one. ETN gives me Alvin Kamara vibes. What y'all think about that selection for the Bills?
I think it's an interesting pick. I feel like Bills probably could have went defense. I think it's a little bit of a luxury pick. They just took Zach Moss last year, I believe. And then they still got Singletary. So you'd have three backs. But I think what you see now is a lot of guys taking skill players or, just to get that fifth-year option. So if they did go running back, I think that's why, you got a stud running back and you get the fifth-year option.
Yeah, I don't love it. I like ETN, but I think he's got a second rounder written over him. I'm saying he's not going to be a productive back. Nick Chubb was a second rounder. I just know what draft value is, and I just think if you're gonna have a luxury pick like that, you're better off spending in the trenches.
I feel it, but I think the Bills have been searching for that running back for a minute. I mean, they tried with Zach Moss last year. The year before that, they tried with Devin Singletary. And neither of those guys really emerged as the bell cow. I mean, they both were a decent running back by committee, but it's like, neither of them really ran away with that job. And I think ETN is a type of back, man. You can see him run away with that job, bro. I feel like that's exactly what Josh Allen needs, a security blanket. And I think Rome hit on this one right here, man. I think that's a solid pick. The Ravens, man. Ravens made a big trade. They got rid of their offensive tackle Orlando Brown, and because of that, they ended up with the Chiefs pick at pick number 31. And I believe the pick is in. So let's go out to Baltimore, see who the Ravens decide to go with.
So with the number 31 pick, the Baltimore Ravens select wide receiver LSU Terrence Marshall.
Okay. So the Ravens get their receiver. What you thinking about Terrace Marshall, T?
I mean, he's one of those quote unquote rare size speed combinations that's exceedingly not rare anymore. We see a lot of tall guys run fast now. But he's the other guy. He was out there with Chase and Jefferson, and I thought he did all right by himself out there. And Ravens need that big target for Lamar Jackson. As much as I give Lamar Jackson a little heat, he needs a big target. They experimented with what's my man that throw up the X, Dez.
Dez.
They were looking for a possession guy. I think they get a deep field possession guy. He doesn't break any tackles or anything, but I think when Lamar starts scrambling, you could toss the ball up 50, 60 yards to a guy that's 6'3" with a 40-inch vertical and hope he makes a play.
Yeah, I love this pick. I love this pick, T. You very critical of the Ravens, so it makes sense why you're killing the picks with the GM, because I love this pick, man. You got a guy like Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown. He's an over top receiver. He's a speed dude. Got a versatile route tree. You bring a dude that's going to bring in size and speed. Then you really just got a real nice hybrid situation for Lamar Jackson. I like the pick a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Good pick. I think it's a great pick. Marshall gives them the deep threat they need on that offense. So definitely solid.
I think I agree, man. I've been hearing rumors that the Ravens want to make a play for Julio. I would love to see Julio in that in that black and purple, man. I feel like that would be a nice.
Not me. Do not bring my man Julio to end his career on the 32nd ranked passing offense in the league, man. Don't do him like that, man. Julio don't deserve that.
Damn, man.
32nd best. He don't be 32nd for long, bro.
D-Money makes a very good point, man. At 6'3", you would think he'd be a better blocker. And that offense, when they run, you would expect a guy on the outside to be able to block a little bit better. But I don't think you can pass him up here. I mean, I understand you can work blocking. That's technique. That's mentality. I think you can work that. But like I said, that's a fan pick. I think the Ravens fans really want that pick. So that's the pick. I'd probably go Tony, but I think that's the pick.
I feel it. I mean, Tony is the type of receiver I feel like might not fit in Baltimore. I feel like they've tried that type of receiver already with Hollywood, and I ain't gonna say it didn't work out, because I mean Hollywood still got a lot more he could show. But I think Lamar Jackson needs a big target, man. I think it's time to get a big target out there, man. I don't know. We'll see what they do. And there's only one more pick to go. It's the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. Hey man, when you talk about a team like the Bucs, you gotta wonder like where they gonna go. They just won the Super Bowl. Whenever you see a team that just won the Super Bowl, it's like what do they really need, right? But everybody needs somebody. That's why we all get a pick. So the pick is in. Let's see which direction the Buccaneers decide to go. With the 32nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jalen Phillips, edge rusher out of Miami. I think that you might look at the Buccaneers. You might look at their roster and say, well, they've got Shaq Barrett, they got Jason Pierre-Paul. But Pierre-Paul's entering the final year of his contract, coming off a knee injury last season. And you just can't be sure if they're going to re-sign him or not. Obviously, they want him back for this next run to see if they can make another run at it with him. But if he doesn't come back, you got to have a guy in those wings that's ready to produce. I thought Jalen Phillips would go a lot sooner in this draft. I think his athletic profile is exactly what you want for an edge rusher. He's got speed off the edge. He's got bend. The only thing I do worry about a little bit with Jalen Phillips, I think that's a part of the reason he just dropped, is because of his injury concerns, man. I mean, he was hurt he was at UCLA before he went to Miami. And for a second, he thought about giving up football after having an injury at UCLA. Got to Miami and completely showed out without Gregory Rousseau in the lineup. And, proved why he was one of the top prospects coming out of high school and in his first couple seasons at UCLA. He never really panned out at UCLA totally, but it showed what he could do in Miami. And I think going from Miami to Tampa Bay is perfect. He gets to stay in Florida. I think Jalen Phillips could end up being one of the better edge rushers from this year's class. I think it's a perfect situation to be with Shaq Barrett and learning from Jason Pierre-Paul. While those guys are kind of, you know what I'm saying, at least Jason Pierre-Paul may be at the end of his time with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So what y'all think about that pick of Jalen Phillips? Y'all like that pick, or y'all on the fence about that?
Yeah, I'm on the fence a little bit. I think 31 is a prime spot to trade out, and grab some more assets later in the draft.
Yeah, I felt the same way, D-Money. I didn't think he was falling, but he was there, so you got to take him. Best BPA.
Yeah, so, I mean, based on how our draft fell, it makes sense.
Yeah, you got to go BPA sometimes, man. And I feel like, well, what do y'all think? One more thing, man, before we get into the end of our time, but what do y'all think about drafting for need versus drafting best player available? If you were a GM, which direction would you go?
I think you got to find that balance. I think you got to find that balance of what your team really needs and the best player available on the board. Like, some players you just can't pass up.
Facts.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You definitely need a balance there, but when you have players like Kyle Pitts staring you in the face, you got to pick him off the board. Regardless of whether you really are desperate at the tight end position or you're not. So I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think I'm on the other end, man. I feel like you always, if I was a GM, I think I would just about always, especially in the first round, be going best player available. I feel like when you go best player available, you end up stacking your team with, cream of the crop athletes. If I'm drafting for need, I'm looking for needs in the third round, fourth round. That's when I'll start going for needs, unless of course it's a quarterback. But when we're talking about BPA, that's what I would always stick with in the first round personally.
I mean, I think when you get into BPA, it gets a little sketchy. It gets risky because you start looking at potential a little bit more. And, sometimes the best player on the board isn't the best player for your team. He's not the guy that gets your team over the hump. Taking another wide receiver just because he's the best guy on the board doesn't guarantee you Super Bowls, doesn't guarantee you playoff wins. So, I mean, like Rome said, it's a balance. But personally, I like when teams draft scheme fits.
The thing is, you don't want to be the guy that doesn't draft a Chase Young or doesn't draft somebody that's going to come back and haunt you, especially if a team in your division can grab them and they have a similar need. So if I had to pick, you know what I mean, like gun to my head, you're telling me best player available, what strategy I'm using, I'm probably leaning towards best player available just because, like I said, certain players, man, you don't want to miss out on a special player because you need a left guard.
I mean, but best player available sometimes, has its limitations because if the guy, Chase Young, right, Nick Bosa, there's certain players that they are scheme transcendent. Doesn't matter what scheme, what system, they're going to ball out. Then you got other guys, the next tier guys that they need to be in certain situations. I mean, you got a zone corner, like a guy like Richard Sherman. He couldn't go somewhere and play man. He found his way in a perfect spot. He's playing cover 3. Norman playing cover 2. So best player available. It works sometimes, but I think your system. I think when you got great coaching, I think your system means a little bit more than the players and personnel. If you look at Belichick, they have a system.
Yeah, I feel that. And we talking about guys like Richard Sherman, Josh Norman. These guys, Richard Sherman, 5th rounder. So once you get into the 5th round, I say it's best to go scheme fits. But I'm talking specifically in the first round. When I look at those first round talents, I'm gonna always go BPA because I look at, for example, the Cowboys, right? Just a couple years ago, they took CeeDee Lamb. Everybody was like, "Oh, you got Michael Gallup, you got Amari Cooper. Why you take a CeeDee Lamb?" But when Dak Prescott comes back and he's throwing to those 3 receivers, that's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? Like when the Falcons they had Julio Jones, everybody's like, "Wait, why are you taking Calvin Ridley?" But now that looks pretty damn smart that they took Calvin Ridley. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you got to go BPA, unless you just got
they traded up for Calvin Ridley.
So what?
They traded up for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They took the best player available. They traded up and took the best guy available. So even if you see a guy up there and you're like, I got to go get him because to me he's the best player on the board. Even I look at the Washington football team, right? We took Chase Young. We had Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan. A lot of people thought we should trade that number 2 pick, get a haul for that. You know what I mean? Because, hey, you already have 2 edge rushers. But now we look like we definitely made the right move for taking that best player available. I feel like when you're in that first round, the talent pool, man, it's just like you don't get another shot at those first rounders sometimes.
Look, I
You don't
mean,
get another shot at that.
I might be a little gunshot because I watched the 49ers draft Solomon Thomas after already having 2 lottery pick linemen. You know what I'm saying? You had Buckner and Armstead, and you went ahead and drafted Solomon Thomas again. Against what all the fans said. You know what I mean?
But when you quadrupled down and then took Nick Bosa just a year or 2 later, it's all good now. You know what I'm saying?
No, we didn't have a premier edge rusher, but we had interior linemen.
But I think Solomon Thomas was drafted as an edge rusher. I don't think he was drafted as an interior guy. I think when he was taken out of Stanford, he was expected to be an edge guy. So, you know, and I think, you know, hey, I mean, I get it though. I get it. It's not a foolproof methodology. Yeah. I just feel like when you going with that with those premier positions, man, you gotta take BPA, bro. You just never know when you're gonna get your hands on another talent like that.
Hey, so Bryce, man, you saying you gotta go BPA in the first round, but in this mock, you had our Washington football team trading up for Justin Fields?
Nah, Justin Fields to me is the best player available. Like I mean, I got Justin Fields ranked number 7 on my big board right now. I'm very high on Justin Fields. Like I don't know how this pre-draft process has done him like this. I feel like the pre-draft is doing him dirty. And I mean, y'all know why. I don't gotta say why.
Are you high?
How high were you on Dwayne coming out?
There we go.
I was high on Dwayne, but I wasn't like top 10 high on Dwayne. I was top 32 high on Dwayne, though. I'm not gonna lie. I think most draft pundits were. I'm not the only one that was top 30, had a top 32 grade on Dwayne Haskins. But you know, I wasn't top 10 high on Dwayne. I did not want to trade up for Dwayne Haskins. But once we did it, I was on board. I ain't gonna lie, I was on board once we did it. But like,
I felt like he felt to it, bro.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
we didn't even trade up for him. We traded up for Sweat that year, but I wasn't that high on Dwayne Haskins. I'm being honest. I wouldn't have taken him that high personally, bro. I had him like ranked in like a 20 range. We took him 15. So.
I don't know if trading up for Justin Fields is the move for Washington. I mean, if we do that, he's got to sit behind Fitzpatrick. I don't want to see him play too much this season, but that's the thing with trading up for a first-round quarterback. If you trade up for a guy, you're not trading up for him to sit.
Facts. Hey, man, we go on all day about this because I think this is a hell of a conversation, man. BPA versus drafting for need, man. But, hey, mock draft was a success. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If y'all don't know where you can find more Gas Sports for the Culture content, it's very simple. Just type in Good Ass Sports or type in Gas Sports Network. Anywhere that has a search bar, you're going to find us. Make sure you download the Gas Sports for the Culture app. Just go to your app store, Google Play, Apple, type in Gas Sports Network. It pops right up. Download it, give it a 5-star. And until the next time, appreciate everybody for watching. Y'all know how we always sign off. Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.